Congratulations. So excited to have you. Very, very proud of you. And I want to put this on record. How much are you paying for a top school in Canada? Tell me.
First of all, thank you so much, Jatin, and then that like you are a part of what I deserve, right? So, and your second question about paying, I guess it's really peanuts because I'm paying about 32 lakhs for 2 years for getting an admit into McGill, doing the MBA in an international location, and getting all the experience out from there. So I guess it's really great.
I want to add something. I've experienced that you're somebody who's really hardworking. You're very diligent. I also know that you initially struggled in the communication areas of things where I said, don't do this, don't do this,
Right,
don't do this. Focus on that.
right.
How was the entire experience for you, Sandeep? How was the entire experience of working with us? How was it for you?
You know, I think I learned some of the things which I am going to carry forward, right? And when I started, uh, I had some way, and like I was resisting change, right? So, and then after getting the set of emails from you that these are the tasks you need to do, it seemed to me at first, this is kind of an exercise, like just like I've already started my MBA and I am doing some assignments, but I really feel the value of those things, right? At this point, when I'm standing with an offer letter, how important each and every element of those things were. Like that's really that took a toll, right? I had to work day in and day out, especially when I started with you and I had two schools in target, two top schools. The exercises were really difficult for me because I come after 8 years of experience. I don't have those writing skills, right? I left those behind. I thought that I had a misconception that MBA essays are all about writing skills. And I started, I guess, I was for a couple of assignments which I said you rejected those assignments totally, saying that I'm not looking for, the way you write your words. I'm looking for your actual story, right? So what exactly are you looking for and how your life experiences were. So I think that is something which is really very important to understand from the MBA standpoint, I guess. And that is the most important thing that really turned, for me. Um, I guess in terms of experience, right? So it's really depends on per person how one or like he or she wants to take this forward, right? So that's what I felt. I, I gave my best, whatever time I could, and I guess that if I had not done that, I would not have been able to work on other schools, other rounds. Our journey was a 3 months long journey. I felt that okay, things should happen in the first month itself, but I realized later that things are not very magical, right? Things take time.
Yeah.
You need to learn, you need to grow, and like at some point after 3 months down the time, I'm really happy. And as a matter of fact, I do have McGill at this point. I am very positive about four different schools as well.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for those results,
I know, I
and
know,
I
I
felt
know.
that
And I'm also actually I'm hopeful and I'm positive about. I know that you have a lot of results coming in. But what would you do? Would you
yeah,
look at McGill? Like you have a very significant scholarship, and you're not paying a lot of money for a top MBA in Canada.
yeah, yeah,
What do you think? Would you
right.
eventually end up joining McGill? You think?
Uh, I have top schools in pipeline, but my thought process is a little different. Um, I have a very good scholarship at McGill, and that's a comfortable money for me for 2 years. And as the reputation goes, McGill is really great, and I think I'm totally inclined towards McGill, and just because of the community and the kind of the course right they have, and so the COVID really had an impact on McGill, right? Because the entire course is designed that you need to step out, right, and you need to meet people, you need to get those practical experience.
So I know that you were a part of a very rigorous program. I know what we have done here. Do you feel
Yeah,
better prepared to go through your MBA right now, Sandeep?
yeah, I guess like I think most important skill I learned from this entire program or the engagement we have had was networking, and I never believed in networking. And like the way I have been, I am one person who don't have not been networking at all in my life, right? So I have been just in the tangible forms of people who are right in front of me. I have just been talking to them. and it's a totally different experience to like think about talking to people who you don't know at all. And that's one skill set that I definitely am going to carry forward in my MBA. And at first it sounded boring to me, honestly, and it sounded too much. So, but surprisingly, this entire industry, or I think the entire network, like the MBA network, is so strong that people really understand each other. And at first I was struggling with getting responses, but then I think I was struggling to give time to people, because I reached out to them for a meeting and they said, okay, we're ready for a meeting. Let me know when to connect. And the problem was that I had deadlines in a week's time. I had applications to write, and people were saying, okay, we are fine with that. And for the respect that okay, they're reaching, they came back to me, because at first I sent invites to 10 people non-stop. I had to. I actually ended up talking to everybody, and I respected that. They returned back to me, and I think that is one skill that has actually helped me get into McGill, very honestly. And it would not have been possible because the networks which I had, and the relationship which I built with some of the current existing students in McGill. So I was not even knowing that like somebody recommended me behind my back to the interviewer who was going to take an interview, right? So I was already recommended after having two networking calls with her. So she sent a letter of recommendation directly to the admissions director who was going to take my interview. So I was not knowing that, and she mentioned to me that okay, I don't want to tell you this because I don't want to raise your hopes at all at this point, because you have not got your decision. But I really liked everything that we talked about, and I sent a letter of recommendation. So, and that really happened, I guess. And she knew everything about me. She told that like the person I networked with, she mentioned that he already had a meeting with the person who is going to take my interview, and we already discussed my profile. So things really worked. I think it wouldn't have been possible if I just had submitted my application with a GMAT score and maybe a good essay, but things would not have gone to this stage until and unless I had networked. And so I think the most important skill that I learned is networking. And the second most important skill, very honestly, is to talk about your own story, and don't be somebody who is a super achiever in terms of I can do this, I can do that, but like what helped you, or what made you thought, or what was a personal experience around doing this or that. That is the distinction which I started getting. Like I was on everything I used to write. I used to write very plainly that okay, I can do this. I am good in this tech. I am good in that tech. But I think it came from your help that I started realizing that why I'm doing this is more important than what I do now. So I think that why, from the personal aspect or from a human aspect, as you say, I guess that is something which I really learned from you, and I now understand that the bits and pieces of what I want to do in life, that really relates. So it's not something that okay, I'm still wondering, okay, I just need to do an MBA just for the sake of doing an MBA. I think I have many motivations.
Really, one thing, there is no guarantee that the goals that you and I have created are the goals that you will eventually live up in your life. I'm telling you, 90% of the people that have gone out, they change their goals during the MBA program. And I've experienced it. And I've also learned and evolved in such a way. But the overall idea is to make you employable, Sundeep, make you sellable.
And I'm sure in this journey, everybody will struggle on goals. And for people like me who have 8 years of experience, I guess they will struggle the most, right? So in terms of goals. And even the people who are just 1 or 2 years of experience, they don't know the corporate world at all. They are also struggling, I'm sure.
I would not call it struggle. I think once you hit the campus, you will start a lot of window shopping. You want the right to explore everything out there. You know what I mean? So I've seen a lot of people. I've had instances where there was somebody, he and I created marketing goals in a specific area, right? In a specific industry. And a year later, he reached out to me saying, can you connect me with somebody from Darden in New York? Because I'm looking at investment banking internships out there. And I said, what is wrong with you? You and I did not even have these goals. He said, you know what? The moment I landed in the school, within first month, I realized marketing is just not my thing. And I've done an interview with him as well. And I think he works in sales and trading. I'm not sure. His name is Joseph,
Hmm.
and he and I had
Okay.
very different stories. But I think it's the maturity that really matters.
Be
How
very
was the
much
experience
relevant
when
in
I
this role.
rejected all your essays? What did you feel? Did you curse me in the
I
evening?
know it was like, yeah, again, Jatin, he has rejected everything. Now, what should I think about? What should I write about? That's what came to my mind, and I got a couple of rejections. I think so. A great story is that the first two schools I applied, I got a reject, right? So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, it's going to happen, and all the way around, like the entire MBA journey. But I guess the next six schools I applied, out of six, I got five interview invites, and I have it having an admit now, and four I am still to hear. So that's what how you learn. The important is you stay in the journey and don't get demotivated. So I really got demotivated, very honestly, and at this point, 8 years of experience, my work was not that great, not flexible to give me a lot of time. Too many things going on with work, with personal life, with things, with the assignments, with the applications, with the networking. It really takes a lot. Like you lose something. I lost my health a little bit. I gained weight. That's fine. But like eventually, the positive thing is you actually I got something. I got a prize. I would say, and I really feel a winner at this point.
Sandeep, do you think? I'm asking you a question, a very different question. Um, when you and I were working in the engagement, did you get an experience that your work and your profile and the way you and I framed the answers in the questions or in the interviews, did you get the experience that your profile has been very well understood?
Obviously, yeah. So I think yeah, I think in my entire interview feedbacks, I would say, I guess you were knowing much more than me, right, in terms of what I have been doing and what my profile looks like. So obviously, I think I think you did a better homework than I did in my entire. Taking help from you had been the best decision I would say in my life. So there are things which that are there in you, but you are not realizing those things. Somebody needs to pull that out from you, and actually you did that. You understood my profile end to end. You had a confidence that I have a very strong profile, but I never had, actually, very honestly, I never had that confidence, but you had. And uh, and out of those, the things which I had, very small elements in my life, you actually created a story, like helped me create a story out of those small instances in my life, and I think that's very important, right? So whenever we discuss about my profile, you had a much better clarity, and you gave me a lot of vision around, okay, how things will go in future, right? So, and that's, I think if you just take an MBA application standpoint, obviously, as you mentioned, your goals might be different later, but still you need to realize or materialize something out of what you have. So I think that really happened. So yeah, I think that in that sense, I totally, you did much better justice than even I could have ever done. Understanding what I have been doing with my profile, how important to the world my profile would look like. So I guess, yeah, that really matters. Everybody having some kind of experience in college experience, or that's really important, and that's something you need to highlight it in a way that makes sense for others as well. So I think that really helped to happen. Whatever little I had in my life, in terms of extracurriculars or in terms of achievements in my professional work, I think that was really highlighted well by you, and I was able to like put that in my essays properly.
I think you really made my days. The afternoon. I think I'm gonna go out and have beer in the afternoon, man. This is a great compliment. Last question for you, and it's a personal question. Okay. What is the plan for next 6 months? When do you plan to quit your job? And I know you are starting a great journey in life, Sandeep. You will grow with a great speed now.
Yeah,
You will have a
yeah,
lot of
definitely.
responsibility
Yeah,
in the corporate world in the future, and I'm sure you're very well equipped to handle that. But my experiences of MBA say that this time of pre MBA will not come for another 3, 4, 5 years now. The kind of lean
yeah,
time that you'll
yeah,
have. So, what is the plan for
yeah.
next 6 months?
I will be quitting my job next month. I will have three. I have a very long notice, actually, 3 months of notice. So I will keep doing that notice, and I want to be with my parents for the next 4 or 5 months, right? So That's where I will be for the next 4 or 5 months with a notice period. I think I will carry forward the networking which that skill I gained, right? I want to carry forward that skill and actually want to look for some of the students who are there. And I now have a very strong connection. I think I have somebody who is the Shah Rukh Khan of McGill. She is the most famous person. So she has such strong network herself. So I am totally leaning forward, to get help from her, and I already have talked about that. So I think at this point it would be crucial not to start working with your books and get into academics right away, because that will happen eventually. And at this point, I think the best would be to talk about people, about understanding the job market, like understanding some of the alumni in some of your target areas. I think that if you build that network right away, that's what I'm planning to do. I think once you're there in Canada, right? So it becomes easier, right? You make those kind of a relationship that okay, people know you about you, and they're okay whenever they are visiting an area where you are in your area, or maybe you're visiting their city. Then that becomes very easy to connect and talk about openings, to talk about internships, talk about a path, right, that you should follow to get the job in your company, right? What skills you are looking forward to. So I think that's where I will be focusing most on. And then I think at this point, my total 100% focus would be my family. So I think, and maybe some focus on my health. So that's what I'm planning. So yeah, I don't have more plans.
That's more than sufficient, Sundeep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, buddy.
thanks.
It was great working with you. It was great knowing you. Don't become a stranger. Be in touch, right?